Well, hi, boys and girls. I was just working in the greenhouse when I thought I heard you come in. And gee, it's good to see you all again. Hope you have a nice visit with us today, and I'm sure you will. Oh, look here. Here's a package that the postman must have left. Wonder what's in it. I know I was expecting a package from my little nephew. He was going to send me something to repair. Well, I guess we better open it and find out what's on the inside, shall we? It's always a surprise to me when you find packages. You never know what's going to be on the inside. Look here. What do you suppose that is? I wonder what would happen if I turned this little crank here on the side.
Now, boys and girls, it's time to wonder. Here's the show that makes wondering fun. Uncle Wonder's Workshop. And here he is, Uncle Wonder.
Well, did our Jack-in-the-Box friend startle you? Well, it will if you don't know the tune. Say, what was the tune? Well, I'll tell you what, if you know it, sing it. The rest of you can sort of hum along, huh? Let's try it again, shall we? Why, sure, it's Pop Goes the Weasel. Say, do you know something? I see here now that we can find out what makes Mr. Jack-in-the-Box pop up. Why, of course we can. Look here. See, that's what I have to repair. The back is off. And it's a spring, boys and girls. Why, of course. You see, when we close the top, we push down on the spring, and the spring always wants to come up when we push it down. Oops, like that. See, we pushed it down a little bit too far. But when the top opens up, pop goes the puppet pushed up by the spring. See? Springs sure do stretch, don't they? Goodness sakes alive. I'm going to have quite a repair job with our friend, the little Jack-in-the-Box. And they always, springs always want to go back to the way they were before we did anything to them. So you see, when I push down, why, it will always want to come back up to where it was before. Now, let's see if we can see the spring up close, shall we? I have one here. Now, this is a hacksaw blade, and I use it to cut iron, steel, pipe, and things like that. Well, this is really a spring, boys and girls, but it's straight, while the spring in the Jack-in-the-Box is coiled. How do we know it's really a spring? Well, let's see if it snaps back like the spring in the Jack-in-the-Box, shall we? I'll put it right here in the vise to hold it straight for us. And here, I have a ping pong ball tied to a string. Now first, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's hang the ping pong ball right here in front of our spring. Now, what do you think would happen if I pulled back on this blade like this and then let go? Now, will it go back to straight up again? Will it go so far that it hits the ping pong ball? Well, let's see. Whoa, and there goes the ping pong ball way out across the workshop. Golly sakes, our spring sure did a job, didn't it? See, it pushed the ping pong ball away from it. Now, of course, it's not doing anything at all right now because no one's pulling on the blade. So that we know that our hacksaw blade is really a straight spring. Now, where do you think we can find, well, other things that act like a spring, boys and girls? You know, I can't help but wonder, too, who found out about the wonderful things springs, stretchy, and bending things can do? I know what let's do. Let's imagine many, many years ago, back when there were no cities, and people had to hunt for food in the forest. Now, a man one day noticed that when he bent back a branch, just like our bow that we have right here, the branch would snap back again when he let it go. Well, what do you think he did? Well, he wondered about it for a while, and then he tried something. Suppose I take the branch off the tree, and I tie a piece of vine or animal skin across the branch just like that, right there. Why, of course. And when he did, he had a bow. And, of course, he used an arrow along with it. And he found out something, too, didn't he, boys and girls? He found out that when he pulled the string, like this, the branch bent. And when he let it go, the branch tried to go back to straight again very fast, and as it did, it threw out the arrow. Just like that. Now, think of how happy he must have been, for now he could hunt so much easier, and his family could have a whole lot more to eat. The branch tried to go back straight, just as our Jack-in-the-Box spring tried to get out of the box. Now, what else can you think of that will bend or stretch and then snap back to the way it was? Something like this, maybe? Oh, well, look here. Here's something. Here's my old slingshot up here on the wall. Now, tell me, do you think these great big rubber bands are like springs? Well, let's see if they really are, shall we? Let's pull back on our big rubber bands and see what happens. Well, sure. The rubber stretches all right and seems to be in good working order. Well, now I'll tell you what let's do. Let's put a small piece of wood in our slingshot, just like this, and see if the rubber band will do a bit of work for us, shall we? All right, here we go. We'll pull it back once more, and then we'll, whoops, let go. Now, you'd have to admit that's a very unusual slingshot that can fire a piece back here, but it did. It pushed it out and away from it, didn't it? Why, of course. Out into the workshop. Well, of course, we found out that a rubber band will snap back to the way it was before we stretched it, just like a spring bounces back. But I must remind you about something, too. With a slingshot or a bow and an arrow or anything like this, don't ever shoot it at anyone. Don't ever aim it at anyone, because you might hurt someone very seriously. Remember that? Don't shoot at anyone, anytime. Well, now, tell me something. Have you noticed anything at all now, boys and girls? Have you noticed I had to push down on the spring to see the puppet pop up? I had to pull back on the string to see the bow bend to make the arrow fly. And I had to pull back on the big rubber bands of the slingshot to see our little piece of wood fly almost backwards. Now, otherwise it would have gone all the way across the workshop room, of course. Now, before we can make any of these things work for us, we had to do something to them, didn't we? Sure. Now, if I just let this slingshot lay here on the workbench, it isn't going to throw a rock or a piece of wood anywhere at all. Of course not. Now, you think about that for a moment. Wonder about the wonderful things that springs and stretchy things can do for us. Now, can you think of anything, well, any other thing around the house that do work for us, like the springs and things with which we just had fun? Well, here's something right here. It's my old clock. And of course, I've used this old clock many, many times during experiments. And since it's so old, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's you and I sort of take a look at the clock. We'll take a look at the insides of a clock. Have you ever seen the insides of a clock? Well, now that it's apart, you can see pretty well on the inside. And notice right here. Can you see this right here? Now, this is a spring. And when I turn this knob, just like this, I tighten this spring, and I make it want to get loose, or unwind, as we say. Now, the spring is connected to wheels and gears. When the spring unwinds slowly, it moves the wheels and gears, and they are connected to the hands right here, which move and tell us the time. The springs sure do important work for us, don't they? How many times would you have been late for school or a party if there were no clock at home to tell you what time it is? And say, here's something else. Do you have a screen door at your home? Well, there's a place you might see a spring at work. You might see a spring that would look about like this right here. You can see how it works and snaps back into place. Or you might see one It looks like this long one right here. See? Or we even have another one. You might even see a little one that would look about like that. See how they work? Now, when the door is open, these springs will push the door closed again. Now, what about it? You've been looking around. Do you think we can find any more around, well, possibly in the workshop? Let's take a look. Find any? Oh, here's one right here. Why, of course. You all know what this is. It's a window shade. Why, sure. And when I pull it down, I pull the spring up there tight, the same as we saw in the clock. Now, when I let the shade go, the spring will try to go back to the way it was at first. Watch. See? Now, what about you, boys and girls? Do you think we should sort of get together and thank the man who found out all about springs and rubber and other things that stretch and bend? Well, I think so. We'll never know who he is, maybe, but he found out by doing just what you and I are doing. Why, sure. Wondering. Wondering. Gee, I almost forgot. We haven't been to I Wonder What I See corner yet. Let's pay a visit and see what we can see. Look over here. Well, whom do we have here? Well, it looks like a little boy, and my goodness, doesn't he look sad? Now, wait. Oh, it says up there, please turn me upside down and I will be happy. Is that right, do you think? I know he's sad right now because we can all see him. Do you think we should turn him around, boys and girls? All right. Let's see what he looks like upside down. Well, will you look at that? The little boy is happy now. Now he's sad again. And now he's happy again. He almost fooled me, but I think we better leave him that way. People look better when they're happy, don't they? Why, of course. Oh, say, before we say so long today, I better check on how our plants are doing. Come on along into the greenhouse with me and let's take a look. Oh, look there. This one's coming along just fine. And you know something, boys and girls? I've been wondering why, when I put water in the pot, how does that water get all the way up here to the very tops of the leaves? Have you ever wondered about that? Well, I have too. Well, maybe we'll find out all about it the next time. And until I see you again, remember, won't you? It's fun to wonder.
This is National Educational Television.